Ooh, well, good game.
Good game. Did you know the term pickleball actually refers to a pickle boat?
No, what's a pickle boat?
A pickle boat is the boat made up of miscellaneous rowers not picked by the primary team.
Okay, so kind of like miscellaneous produce you can gather from an abundant garden crop. You just put it all together and pickle it.
Exactly. And pickling's been a method of food preservation for thousands of years, and you can really pickle all sorts of things. It doesn't just have to be cucumbers.
Yeah, well, let's preserve our energy and go ahead and start pickling.
Sounds good. Pick me a good cucumber.
Will do. Have you ever heard of the phrase, "You're as cool as a cucumber"? Well, that's because cucumbers' internal temperature tends to be about 20 degrees cooler than the surrounding air. So as we know, it can get very hot in the summer in North Carolina. We had a very lush cucumber vine growing on this trellis here. And then we hit a couple of 90, 100 degree temps and the vine got crispy. So even cucumbers can overheat. We're gonna go ahead and plant round 2 cucumbers in this pot to see if we can get another harvest. So cucumbers require full sun, which means at least 6 hours a day of direct sunlight. They prefer well-draining, compost-enriched soil such as this. And they also need to be watered pretty consistently in order for the fruit to develop correctly and for the whole plant to stay hydrated. Cucumbers also strongly prefer something to kind of climb and grow up, whether that's this type of support stakes, more of like the metal hardware mesh, or even like a fence, that it could just climb up naturally. There are 2 main categories of cucumbers, pickling and slicing. So slicing cucumbers are usually more long and slender and eaten raw fresh, whereas pickling cucumbers are shorter and typically have like a bumpy texture and are used to pickle. So we are going to plant some pickling cucumbers today because I love pickles. And what we're going to do is we're just going to make a few little holes. So they're supposed to go down about 1/2 inch. And I'm going to try to fit 3 or 4 in here in this pot. Pickling and slicing can be planted together. It's all good. And then you just go ahead and put 1 or 2 seeds in each planting hole. It's always nice to label each individual planting hole just so you know it's a cucumber and not a weed. And then water well for several weeks and wait for germination. So these should germinate and start to emerge above the soil in about 5 to 10 days. Depending on the variety of cucumber, they should be ready to harvest from 50 to 70 days from planting. And how do you know they're ready? Well, if it's a pickling cucumber, it'll be about this size, 3 to 4 or 5 inches or so. And then if it's a slicing cucumber, it should be about 6 to 10 inches. Another great way to tell if it's ready is, this is what I prefer. When you are thinking about picking the cucumber, you pet the surface of it and there should be some little white spikes. If those spikes fall off easily, then it's screaming, pick me, pick me. If they're staying on there and they kind of hurt a little bit, that's a plant telling you like, no, not yet, predator, leave me. So if you let a cucumber stay on the vine too long, not only does the plant waste energy on making that fruit bigger and not grow more cucumbers, but the cucumber itself will taste more bitter and be more hard. So this pickling cucumber went too far. So it's not gonna taste as great as it could have. Let's serve this over to Taylor in the kitchen to start pickling.
Americans eat about 20 billion pickles per year. And when I say pickle, I mean pickled cucumber. Pickles that we often think of are the ones that we buy at the store, and these can be really high in salt and sometimes sugar. But pickles are super fun, simple, and affordable to make at home, and you get a little more control over what ingredients you put in the brine. The first step to making pickles is to pick what produce you want to use. Today we're going to be pickling cucumbers. So I'm going to go ahead and wash our cucumber and set up the rest of our station so we can get started. Whenever you're making food for long-term preservation at home, you want to make sure to use a reputable source, something like the National Center for Home Food Preservation. Today, we're making a quick pickle recipe from the NC State Cooperative Extension. Pickles can be a really good source of fiber, vitamin A, vitamin K, antioxidants, and the brine can even have some electrolytes. Pickling is the process of adding food to a brine that consists of water, vinegar, salt, and sometimes sugar. Usually that brine is heated and then poured over the food into a jar. Next, we are going to prepare our produce. Today we're cutting our cucumber into rounds, but you could do spears or really whatever shape you liked. And then this is where the recipe gets kind of fun. You get to add whatever seasonings and flavorings you like, and all of that is going to go into a clean jar. So I've gone ahead and prepared our brine. We'll wait for that to come up to a boil, let that go for about 2 minutes, then remove from the heat and very carefully pour it over the contents of our jar, leaving about a 1/2 inch of room at the top. And that's it. This will sit in the fridge for 1 to 2 days to marinate and then last in the refrigerator for about 1 to 2 weeks. So pickled products are really enjoyed by cultures all over the world. The tangy quality of pickled and fermented foods gives a really nice depth, richness, quality, texture, flavor to all sorts of dishes that can help improve interest and palatability.
Hey Taylor, how's it going in here?
Good, we just finished up our pickles.
They look beautiful. Are these ready to eat?
So I like to put them in the fridge for maybe 1 to 2 days to brine a little bit further, but I was experimenting with other produce we have. So we have a few random produce items here that I have finished.
Wonderful. Yeah, so I realize you're experimenting here in the kitchen. We experiment in the garden all the time. We plant some things, sometimes it works out all the way through, sometimes it doesn't. So kind of like our cucumbers, right? We had a good crop, they dried up, and then we planted more. So I'm looking forward to round 2.
Yeah, and you can also really experiment in the kitchen, not just with what you choose to pickle, but what you put your pickles on top of. I know I really love pickled onions on tacos.
Oh, yum. Yeah, I can't wait to try those pickled cucumbers on a sandwich.
Sounds delicious. Let us know below what you choose to pickle this summer. And don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Subscribing really helps us to reach more people and to get more education out there.
And always remember to stay po fit.